Hey guys, this is Gamer here. Today I'm bringing you my review of Enemy Front, the latest World War II shooter that came out for Xbox 360, PS3, and PC. So, I was under the impression that the World War II craze had kind of gone down. Wolfenstein The New Order recently came out, but that was kind of an alternate timeline type of thing, and they did a whole different take on World War II. So, I wasn't really expecting much. We kind of passed that craze. And I was kind of surprised to see this game. It's a low-budget title that came out at a $40 price tag. It's developed by City Interactive. They are responsible for the Terrorist Takedown series, Alien Rage, Art of Murder series. Sniper Ghost Warrior is probably their most popular series. And many other war-oriented games. So, normally I do try to tell all of the parts where I've enjoyed the game. Unfortunately, I got to start off with the fact that I'm going to have a very hard time doing so, because this game had a lot of work to do for it to be a good game. The game is running CryEngine 3, which you could not freaking tell, because graphically the game is terrible. The game looks bad from afar and looks even worse up close. There's a lot of frame rate issues, and you can tell the motions in the faces look so stiff. You're playing as a character named Robert Hawkins. He's an American reporter caught in the war and somehow can shoot pretty well for being a reporter, because you are going to mow through hundreds of Nazis. As once again a reporter, you get commended a couple of times near the beginning about how impressive it is that he can shoot as well as he can. But then later on, it's just like, oh, okay, yeah, he's another soldier in the war. But he's a reporter, so it's whatever. The controls of the game are pretty standard, but they don't feel the least bit natural. The AI is absolutely horrific, and the game is glitch-ridden to hell. In terms of AI, you'll have quite often, you'll see an enemy go bunker behind a small ledge, and you'll snipe him out, and then another one will go back in the same exact spot and continue to do so as it's lather, rinse, repeat. Or they'll just stand in the middle of the fight zone, just standing there, firing kind of in your direction, and sometimes directly at you. So it's inconsistent. The AI is not okay. It's not okay with how bad it is. And like I said, sometimes they're dead on accurate, and sometimes they're not even facing you when they're firing. Being the game is linear, there is one nice factor I enjoyed about it, is that there are side missions that allow you to feel like you are actually making the choices to do certain things in the war. And allowing you to choose, okay, am I going to help the resistance as well as do my main mission, or am I just going to hurry up and get to my main mission? So it kind of adds that little bit of variety in it and allows the break between the constant linear action. Okay, I also did mention the game is glitch-ridden to hell. I'm showing this glitch right up here. I ran into 5 minutes in the game. I could not pass this guy because a second body of himself appeared. I've also run into many glitches where enemies are running against walls and still shooting through the walls, and you can't see them, and they're hitting you with bullets. Or they'll end up finding you even though their cone of sight is facing the exact opposite direction of you. Or enemies will basically get caught on one another. You'll get stuck in a doorway because there's a body laying on the floor that's dead, but somehow is blocking the doorway. Enemy Front try to throw a sneaking element into the game, but it feels even less than half-assed. You sneak around, and if an enemy sees you, then they alert all the enemies. Now, this isn't a problem, except it is. Because if one enemy sees you and he yells, okay, yeah, I saw him, or he fires a bullet at you, all of the enemies within, I'd say, the next 5 minutes of level know that you're there, and they all start running towards you. So there's no way to redeem yourself. As soon as you are found, even if the people don't yell that they saw you, even if you still kill them beforehand, all the enemies now you're there. You are found, and they're going to come after you. And now you're in combat mode instead of in the stealth mode. Now, see, this wouldn't be that big a problem if the actual stealth frames weren't terribly long. If you go to take down somebody, it's about a 5-second takedown. It doesn't seem like it's that long, but you'll go up to the guy, stab him 3 times, and then slowly lay him down. By that time, somebody has already looked at you and has started firing at you. and it almost happens every time. So it almost eliminates the stealth aspect of the game completely, unless there's one soldier in the immediate area. Also going to talk about the mini-map. It gives you a little mini-map in the corner, and it gives you the ability to mark enemies on the map with your binoculars, but it doesn't show the marked enemies on your map. It just shows them when you're staring in their direction, and you can see them through walls, which is nice, but there's no mini-map help whatsoever. So I constantly lose track of enemies, and you kind of have to make a 360 every now and again to make sure that they're not standing right behind you. It's kind of a crappy thing, but honestly, I found myself bored a lot of the time I was playing. Most of the reason I finished playing this game was for the review. So that way I could tell you guys how much of a crappy game this is, and that as time goes on, it doesn't get any better in its short campaign. The story wasn't convincing. The Nazis didn't even feel like they were ruthless or scary in any aspect. They just felt like generic enemies that were fighting you. And like I said, standing and running at walls and things of that sort. So it just didn't feel, I didn't feel engaged in any means. They did throw a multiplayer into the series, but it's going to be seriously hindered by its terrible servers. The way they sorted the servers out is you can either go into ranked or unranked matches. And then from one of those, you can go into either free-for-all, team deathmatch, a third game mode there that you can play. And then from that, you choose one of the 4 available levels that you get to play. So the reason this is kind of shitty is because that's all done through quick match. So you never really get to just go and jump into a match, and they don't tell you how many players are in each individual server. You go to jump in, and you kind of have to guess, and I had to spend a decent amount of time sitting there and guessing to find out which servers actually had players in them, because there's not even a counter on each server of how many players are available. So I'm going to end with this. Enemy Front feels played out and incomplete because of the concept it runs under, as well as the fact that the game is completely incomplete, and it feels like it belongs in the late original Xbox, early Xbox 360 era, and even then it still wouldn't be considered a great game. The game isn't going to gain much popularity based on the things that it's done, as well as the fact that the advertising budget for this is probably so low because I'd never heard of the game. I just found it. And like I said, the game's not going to gain much popularity, and honestly, it should remain so. If you're feeling the fiend for more World War II, get Wolfenstein: The New Order. You'll only end up spending a little bit extra, and you'll be getting a hell of a lot more. If you've already got Wolfenstein and you feel the need to get more World War II, you know what? Play through Wolfenstein: The New Order again, because you will have a much better experience playing through that the 3rd, 4th, or 5th time than you will playing this the first time through. So, the end of my review for Enemy Front will be my rating. And this is the first really terrible rating I've given to any game. Even Gaiba Ninja Gaiden Z didn't get something this terrible. I am giving Enemy Front a 23 out of 100. It has way too many incomplete ideas, way too many cliche and outplayed situations and scenarios, and the character that you play as isn't even interesting on top of that. So you've got nothing for this game that goes well. A multiplayer that's broken and can hardly find a match in the first place, as well as a campaign I was bored and only felt compelled to play through it so I could finish telling you guys that the game does not get any better. So, anyways guys, that is my review for Enemy Front. I hope you all have enjoyed the review, and as always, if you guys liked the review, please hit the subscribe button. As always guys, stay fucking metal, and we will see you next time.